All right. So again, we're lucky and fortunate to have our guest today. He plays in the MLS. So let me just have him introduce himself. And you are?
My name is Zico Bailey. Like you said, I play in the MLS for FC Cincinnati. I'm 21 years old from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah.
Cool, cool. And just real quick, again, this is your first time here. It's my brother Mikey. I'm
What's up,
Oscar.
Mikey?
I'm Oscar. This is the Mikey and Oscar Top podcast. So yeah, man, let's just move right into it. I know your time is limited, so let's get into it. Let's start with the beginning of your journey, man. I know a little bit so far. I know some details, but again, let me give you the platform and just give it the way you want to tell the rest of the viewers and how basically how you started and why you stuck with this sport and whatnot. So go on.
Okay. You want me to start from like very beginning, like when I was a
Yeah,
child?
yeah. So how it all got into play, like basically just mold the whole story how you want to.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, so I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada, but from when I was born till I was 6 years old, I lived in a small city on the edge of Arizona and Nevada called
Okay.
Bullhead City. So there, yeah, obviously I was a young kid. And during that time, I just did everything that my oldest brother Kanoa did. So, for example, if he skateboarded, I wanted to go skateboard.
Yeah.
If he played baseball, I wanted to go play baseball. So he was playing soccer at the time. And like I just said, I would do the same thing. I would go play soccer with my dad because we live right next to a park. So that's how I got into soccer. And then when I was 6 years old, we moved to Las Vegas. And then we lived here. Well, I lived here until I was 13. And during that time, same thing. I would play soccer for the local teams, like a local team called Newsport during the time, another local team called Heat FC. They're still around today.
Yeah.
And I would play basketball around that time too. I kind of had this little period where I wanted to be a basketball player, but I soon realized that you got to be like really tall in order to do that. So,
well, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, in
yeah,
some way.
you got to be tall, and like that didn't really run in my family like that. So my brother kind of like snapped me into that mode where like, yeah, you're not gonna be a basketball player, you gotta be a soccer player.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, during that time, just playing for local teams and just having fun with the game. And then around like 11, 12, I started branching off and going into like other towns, other cities, other parts of the world, just to play soccer. For example, I went to like ID2 during that time was big. I played ODP, which was big during that time. I went to RSL's academy just to do a little training in Casa Grande, Arizona.
Let me sorry to cut you off there. I wanna try to pick certain details from your story. You said you went to RSL Academy.
Yeah, when I was like 11, 12 years old.
I try to get the viewers some information as possible because everyone's path is different. So how did that come about? Because so there's going to be players like, how do I get there? How do I get to go play there? Like, how did you get viewed or picked up, or who did you talk to? Or what detail happened to get you to that academy?
So at the time, my oldest brother Kanoa, he was playing for their academy. So that's just the one connection that we had.
Okay.
And my dad just put me in like a little camp that they had for the RSL Academy. And I was only there for like a couple of weeks. It wasn't like I was fully a part of their academy.
I see. Okay.
You know? Yeah. Right. So those are just like little bits and pieces, like what I did when I was that age to really kind of expose me to different players and just expose me to what the game had to offer.
Like it kind of felt more serious now in some way.
Yeah, in a way.
You're right, because in the youth, like younger, like kid day, like it felt fun. And then when you get a little bit older, 13, 12, like 12, 13, it feels a little bit more serious in some way, right?
Yeah, more serious just because you're traveling and yeah, I think that's the main thing. You're traveling, you're meeting like new people, you're playing with new players. So that gives you different experiences and different point of view when you talk to like other kids, how they see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, during that time, like I said, that's when it became more serious. And then when I was 12 going on 13, I got called into a national team camp like an under 14 national team camp in at the time it was called StubHub, where the Galaxy played
Okay.
in Carson, California. Yeah, so I got called into that, and then that's around the time where it really got serious. Like my dad and my brother, like they were saying that it could actually be something serious for me. I could be a professional. So, and then obviously going with the national team, you're with kids from all over the country. So all the kids were good. All the kids, like they said they wanted to go pro. So everyone in that group had that mentality. So I think it was good for me at that age to be around kids like that. So I did that camp in California with the national team. And then obviously the Galaxy that was their home stadium. So some scouts were there as well. And after the camp, they asked me to join their academy. So yeah, this is around like September or the end of 2013, I want to say 2013. So yeah, around that time. And then from there, I joined the Galaxy Academy, and I was there for about 5 years. And
Okay.
yeah, I was there for a while. My first year, trying to think.
Sorry, and what position were you playing at this time?
What position?
Yeah, what position at this time were you?
At this time, I was an attacker. I was like a number 9 or a center attacking mid. Yeah, like my whole life, like I just said, from when I was like 6 all the way till I was 13, I was an attacking player. I was number 10 or number 9, a striker. So yeah. First year Galaxy, it was just, I was like 13 years old playing under 14, just in the development academy, which is no longer a thing anymore. But it was good to be around other like good kids on a regular basis, because obviously when I was playing in Las Vegas, it's like clubs, so you practice like 3 times a week. You might have a game on the weekend. Versus with Galaxy, it's you're training Monday to Friday, Saturday you have a game, and then Sunday be off. So basically 6 days out of the week you're focusing on soccer. And then with that too, you have that picture of where you could be with the first team. So the first team is always in sight, and they kind of painted that picture in every kid's mind that you could be one of those players in that stadium playing one day. So that was a big thing for me too, joining Galaxy. So yeah, I was there, like I said, till I was 18. And we actually made, from when I was 16 to when I turned 18, when I was 15 till I turned 18, we made the Academy Finals 3 years in a row, which was, it was pretty dope. But unfortunately, we lost every single time. It was like a three-peat of losses. But yeah, those players I had on those teams I still keep in touch with some of them today. And it was just some of the best players I ever played with in my life during that time. So, like I said, during that time, it kind of put that in my mind even more that, okay, I want to be a professional soccer player. I want to live this lifestyle. So, yeah, and also during that time when I was 16, I played with the second team of LA Galaxy. So I was in the USL Championship.
Yeah.
And the reserve team. And that, even more, I got a taste of what it could be like to be a pro, because I was actually playing against men in a professional environment in front of crowds with the name on the back of my shirt. So that was like.
Again, let me backtrack a little bit, because you said you were from 16 to 18 at Galaxy, or 15.
No, at Galaxy, I was there from when I was 14 till I was 18. 14.
Okay. And at that time, again, I want to backtrack. At that time, you were still a striker and an attacking player.
Yeah.
Okay. Because again, I know a little bit of your background. Since you were at that time, how did that work with going? I want you to say too, but like, how did that go about when you went to college? Because I know you played at college.
Yeah.
How did that dynamic work for you going back? Because that's similar age. You were, I think, what? How old were you? Well, how old were you when you got to the college you got, and what college did you go to?
Yeah, when I went to college, I was still 17. I was 17, turning 18, and I went to Cal State Fullerton, which is right up the road from where Galaxy is. It's like only an hour away. So, yeah. So I actually, like I said, I was an attacker from when I was obviously a young kid, but until I was 16. And then when I was 16, they moved me to right back. because I guess that was the only way I could get on the field.
How,
And they saw me.
how did you feel about that? Like honestly, because there's players that we know. My brother's he's a coach. I'm like the marketing guy. I'm like the creative. I look at the outside in. So when I'm around him, like I hear a lot of stories like this. How did you personally feel from that whole time thinking I'm going to be a striker, I'm going to be scoring goals, to them saying, you know what, you're a right back? How did you take that?
At first, I didn't take it well, if I'm being honest, because like my whole identity as a soccer player was as an attacker, as I'm gonna be the guy that gets the ball. I'm gonna dribble 2-3 guys, or make the pass, or I'm gonna do a move that I shoot and score a goal. So that was like my whole identity. That's how I trained when I was younger. And then all of a sudden, a couple coaches like, "Oh, we see you being a right back," because during that time, that was like when Dani Alves, when Marcelo, that's when the fullbacks were really being attacking-minded players. So I guess they saw those qualities in me, and then they just put me at right back, and then they told me, like, at the next level, you can be this position. So it's best that right now, when you're young, we develop you as a right back. And, being a young kid, like I said, I was stubborn. I didn't want to be a right back. I'm like, nah, I want to be in the midfield, or I want to be on the wing. I want to be an attacker. I want to score goals. But as you mature, you realize that you just want to be on the field at the end of the day. And if they're saying that at the next level, I'm going to be in this position and I could make it and I could possibly go to Europe one day being in this position, then I got to buy into that. And I really got to focus in on those skills that are required to play that position. So,
and when did you buy into it? When, after a couple of games, or a year, how long did you did it hit you right away, or you know what, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it?
Yeah, it was after I had all those games in the USL.
Okay.
When I was playing with the second team. So I played 5 games in the USL as a right back. And then, like I said, after I got a taste of, the lifestyle of how it was and then to actually, have my name on the back of my shirt and to play in front of a crowd, I was like, yeah, I really want to do this. So if I got to be right back in order to do this, I'll do it. So that's how it came about.
Nice. Real quick, you said you were in Arizona and then you went from Arizona to the academy. I assume you moved, or did your family move, or is it just how did that go about?
Yeah, you mean when I was really young?
Yeah, when you were little, because you said you went to the academy, 14?
Yeah.
And you were still in Arizona at the time?
No,
before that?
When I was.
Oh, sorry, Nevada. Sorry.
Yeah, Las Vegas. So
yeah.
So during the time when I went to Galaxy, I just stayed with a whole bunch of host families.
So you went by yourself?
Yeah, with myself. So
nice.
My whole family, to this day, they still live in Las Vegas.
Okay.
My mom, my dad. So yeah, the whole time throughout my whole Galaxy career, I was just staying with host families.
So let me say this: you left like me and him discussed this in past podcasts, and we talked to family members and parents that he knows. We basically say what you did. Your parents knew you're good at something, and you took that sacrifice to leave, to go to develop and get better, and you took that route, right? That's the route you actually took, and look where it got you. You know what I mean? Because again, we want to explain and give the information and also have a testimony in place to let our viewers and his parents that he coaches to understand that he coaches a lot of great players. You know what I mean? And to hear that from you, that's pretty dope. Because you sacrificed a lot. I'm sure you sacrificed of friends and high school and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how did you did you even think about that? Were you like, I don't give a shit about that. I want to go do this. How did that go about when you were leaving your family?
Yeah, I mean, I left so young. I remember I was in the 8th grade when I left. Yeah. I was 13. So it didn't really hit me until I would say I was in high school, because so obviously my first year of high school, I actually went to a school, stuff like that. I got to be around the kids.
Okay.
But my second year, my sophomore year, that's when I started doing online school. So that's when you're more secluded and you're more not going to see kids every day. You're not seeing girls. You're not part of the
that
school
lifestyle.
system.
Okay.
Yeah, like a normal kid, like you get to go to prom, you get to go to homecoming, you get to go I don't know, school dance, school parades and stuff like that. So it wasn't until I was in high school that I really thought like, damn, I don't get to do what a regular kid does. And then, yeah, I
And you
mean,
and you
it
were
was
cool
just
with
a
that. Like, I
sacrifice I
mean,
knew
like,
I
sorry
had
to
to
cut
make.
you off again, but you were cool with that. Like, were you like, do I want this or do I want, like, I want to know the emotion and the feeling that you got. Like, how did
Yeah,
you feel? Like, I'm sure again, as a little kid, transitioning majorly in like your freshman year, like to go to online school, like not knowing, like I made friends for a year, but like, did you really feel like a little confused, or did you have like? I'm trying to get the people understand, like, how did you actually
yeah.
feel?
Yeah, I wasn't like real sad or nothing like that because I was doing what I loved every day. Like
There
I
you
was playing
go.
soccer,
There you go.
and I didn't really think like, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could
Yeah.
do that. Like obviously there was little moments if I see someone post
Right.
them at like a school, I don't know,
Like a
school
school
parade or
dance.
something
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
school
yeah.
dance. I'm like, damn, I wish I could do that, but it would just be quick, and the next day I forget about it. And I
Yeah,
remember that, yeah, I'm doing this for one reason, it's because I want to get to that level.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to be a
Definitely.
professional. So it wasn't nothing like I was sad, like, oh, I wish
Okay.
I could do it.
No, no,
Yeah.
because I mean, like I said, my brother gets a lot of parents like that. I've seen it in the past, and it's like one of those things. Like even like other parents that just don't really know the schematics. Because when I ask him, it's like, how do you feel about those parents that like don't know nothing about soccer, but they have a brilliant, talented kid? To them, it's like, oh, we just need to go to a club. It's like, no, 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 no. There's a lot to it. Like there is a lot of sacrificing to it, and like in many ways, that's what you did. You sacrificed a lot to get where you're at, and a lot of people, and I think parents, if I really can agree with me, it's like they don't realize that. And this is one reason again why we have this podcast. It's like again to have that testimony to understand, like if you literally legit have a child that is just above and beyond better than the rest of his peers at this club, there has to be some type of great movement for him to get better, right? And again,
Yeah.
I see that in this conversation. I feel it that you did that part, and it's something very impactful in your life. And like, again, we're gonna get to the rest of it, but that's one of the things I like to pinpoint to let our viewers know and our listeners know to understand that, you know, it's a huge sacrifice that is a possibility that reason for that sacrifice to get to this point for that
Yeah.
child. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just to
But
add on that too, I would say it's a huge gamble I think you're
yeah,
taking
Oh
as
with
well,
yeah.
as well.
Oh yeah.
like taking your kid out of school or sending them away early because yeah, mine is like a success story, I guess you could say, but
Oh, it
there's
is.
a lot of kids that don't make it
Oh
and
yeah.
they kind of it was almost a mistake in order to like send them away and they didn't have a regular schooling experience and they didn't grow up like another kid because I don't know, I feel like it affects people in certain ways when they don't make it and they went through all that. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree with you. Let me say something. Maybe you might like what I say or not. That's fine. Like I think the reason is um it's the culture that we live in the States. You know what I mean? And by what I say about that is like again, we talk about this in the podcast and even off the podcast. Again, we're so programmed and in place in the States to believe that you have to go here to be successful here. Like the again, I know we have time limited with you, but the structure and the culture that the States has for soccer, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, you can, if we can do it in college basketball, college football, we can do it in soccer. And that's not really the case. For some people, their path might be that. And like, hey, like maybe just go play a club here and attend to this college and you'll get drafted. And that's the culture in place. But we have to understand the rest of the world and the two most successful, the two most amazing players at the moment right now never went to college. They never went to college. They never went to a club or a dance. Like they literally the dynamic from Messi and Ronaldo, that literally their family was like, okay, they're amazing. It's similar to like what sounds like you, like your family understood that they had like a child that was amazing, and they have to literally grasp and like kill the stereotype of like, no, no, you got to go to high school, you got to enjoy your younger, like all that has to get out the window for you to get to a Messi or Ronaldo or Mbappe level, because literally that's the what's I don't know the word, but that's literally what we're living in, and let's see what they've done in the past to really get to that level. Now we've agreed, and we actually had another guy on the podcast that his pathway was a lot different. He actually went to high school and had to do something, and then he got to the college, and like again, it's different pathways with someone else, but to like envision what you've done, I think it's a little bit more common from the way the rest of the world does soccer. because again, you really don't hear about like England or Spain saying, oh, we have a high school prom, like we care about this call. Like, no, like out there it's soccer first. Over here, like you said, when you were growing up, you do whatever your brother did. Like you were playing basketball, you were playing baseball. So think about that. Like there's kids out here like, oh, I actually have more options. I actually have all these distractions where like maybe I can play basketball, and maybe I can play baseball. Like, and either like, oh no, like this coach is gonna say, no, you're better at this sport. No, this coach is over there in the rest of the world. It's like, yo, like if you're legit in soccer, like there is no other sport here. Unless it's like ice skating or some type of like Olympic sport, and it's like very minimal out there. But in the rest of the world, soccer seems like a key out for success for a lot of people. Here in the States, what we fight with, what I believe is that we fight with so much distraction, yes, and more opportunities, because we do have more opportunities. You went to college, you know what I mean? There's other players that I follow that even left England to come and just get an education, but then went back and figured it out. So, I mean, I just wanted to mention that towards you, that again, like I'm enjoying and loving the story that you have, because I think, again, I'm gonna say this word like 1,000 times, probably. It's a testimony of what me and him been saying, to the parents of like, hey, like this child that you have may not have a prom, and it's because of a gamble. Like you said, it might be a gamble, but again, but if you really believe in this child, it might go that way. But again, it goes to like what we said with the last guy, what was his name, Danny Trejo. I'm not sure if you know him. I played against him. There you go. See, I know you did, because I think I seen that game or had a highlight that I saw. Like we spoke to him, and he was like, well, my route was like, I went to high school, I had to do something big, and he broke a record for goals, and that's how he got noticed. And he said my route was a lot different from other people. I didn't really have an amazing a club experience route or an academy based type team. He had to do it from what he had. And again, I'm not knocking on people trying to go that route. I think it's also a real big thing that you said. It's the mindset. You kept telling yourself, I want this lifestyle. I want this, I want this, I want this. And I think that's what really sets you apart from the other kids. Like you said, you probably know people that have done it and are like, you know what? I just want to do this. And like, I don't think it's for me. And people probably gambled on that. And we've seen players like that, right? Yeah. We've seen many players like that. And again, just going off of what you said so far, it's a big testimony to like how impactful the kid wants it. At the end of the day, I think it's how bad the kid wants it. Because again, there's parents out there that probably like, they'll do all this, and at the end of the day, the kid's like, nah, I just want to be a doctor. Or I just like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, to me, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think there's pathways that we have here in the States that just have so many options that our kids in the States have just more open-minded to a lot more than just soccer. And that's, I think, the difference of how we have our current players and our youth players, and even the ones that are coming up like Weston McKinney, and Pulisic, and like, again, just those role models. Now it's like you can go different routes. It's just a matter, I think, at the end of the day, it is the kid, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe it's the kid at the end of the day, because the other thing I was going to ask too is how's the conversation that you had with your parents? Because I'm sure the first thing the coach who's ever seeing you is going to come up to your parents like, hey, your kid's really good. I like him. We're from LA. You guys live out here. We really want to bring him back and put him in the academy. So now that comes down to your parents, and I'm pretty sure they had that conversation with you to be like, do you really want to do this? Is this really what you want? And that's kind of, again, where you kind of, what you said earlier was the mindset. And what are you with 13, 14? It's like, you're hearing your parents like, hey, we're going to send you off to another state. Do you want to go and play soccer? And it's like, I don't know what your thought process was then, but that was kind of what I was trying to get that question from out of, is like, how did that conversation go about? How did you feel about it again? And was it something that was like, yeah, let's go? Or is it something that's like, well, let me be here for a couple of days? Because I don't know how long, again, how Galaxy or them, they gave you a time of like, hey, we need an answer by the end of the week, or, take a month or whatever, So I guess my question would be to you is like, what was that thought process into going that when you finally found out like, hey, Galaxy wants you to come to their academy?
Yeah. It wasn't really a conversation. It was just, so I just remember my dad, he was telling me, oh, the technical director at the time, he asked me about you. He said he wants you to join the team. Mm-hmm. And I remember a conversation occurring, to be honest, just like, okay, I'm going, so
it was like that.
And then, my dad, he kind of made the decision for me. And then I just looked up to my dad so much that like growing up, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go. So it wasn't too much like pushing me, trying to convince me. It's just like, all right, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. That's kind of where I was looking at, is that because I've been around this long enough to I see parents where it's like they get offers like this throughout, and like some parents are just like, well, it doesn't work with our schedule, or what is this or is that. But to hear that, that's amazing, because at the end of the day, it's I think your dad really considered that your feelings and your thoughts, which is you really love this, you really enjoy this, you have a passion for it, and there was something you had to drive, you had, like you said, you had the mindset to say, yeah, like if you believe that I can do it, then yeah, I'm gonna put in forth 110% to do this. Where sometimes, like, there's parents like, well, what do you want? Do you want to do it? And then when they leave it up to the kids, sometimes the kids are like, yeah. And then the parents are just like, do I really want to make that sacrifice for my kid to do this and do that? And in the end, they don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
But to hear that from you, that's great. Because again, look again, it's like you said, it was a big gamble to leave a state, to go somewhere else and play, and not even really know the outcome. Because even out here, well, there's kids that are locally that go to the academy. I've seen them. They'll go for like a year or two, and I actually hear a few current ones now. They're like, we don't know if we're going to do this again next year because it's too much. And it's like, wait a minute, too much. Like, this was, I don't want to say the end game or the end goal, but it's like, this is the path to what you're investing in the sense.
Exactly.
You got to take the good with the bad at times. And if you can't take the bad, it's like, will you ever get to the good in the end? And I'm sure for you, the bad was not being with your parents, not being with your family, not being, not having the lifestyle that you had over there back at home, to come over here probably fresh and new, not knowing a lot of people, and just saying my mindset is just play soccer, do my schooling, and that's it.
Yeah. I think to say to that too, for parents, it's a big gamble too. Like for mine, because if you think about it, like my mom let me go when I'm like 12.
Yeah.
Like he's no longer going to be like with me every day, like you said, and instilling those principles of how she wants her kid. She can still do it, but it's going to be from afar.
Oh yeah.
And obviously that's very hard for a mother. So
of course.
So for parents, I can understand if they say, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to let them go, because it's a sacrifice for them too.
Yeah. No, and we understand that. And like I said, but certain people, again, and it's one of those things. And again, I don't know everyone in Europe, and I don't know how Cristiano's mom felt or Messi's parents felt. You know what I mean? Like, I get where you're coming from, and we've had parents like that similar. We have a younger brother who's getting ready to transfer to a D1 or D2, and it's like, are you gonna stay? Are you gonna leave? Like, I'll be real with you. Like, I want to see him play as much as possible. So if he leaves out of state, I'm gonna feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Because like, I have to travel and hope that I get to see one of the 2 games or whatever that he gets to play. So like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I gotta tell myself, this is his journey, this is his life. Like, he has to go through all that. He can't really take us all with him, because it's not that easy. And then like he said about sacrificing and stuff like that, it's like, or like he said about the other players, that this is too much. The thing is in life in general, like when you really want to get to a certain spot, nothing's easy, or else everyone can do it. You know what I mean? I don't think any of those times with your mom or your dad, like it wasn't easy. And that's the point of taking that step and that hump and that sacrifice to get to this point. And this is the reason why you're at where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's dope so far. I mean, I want to keep it moving. I want to move it along with you. So we're at the stage where you were Galaxy, and now, like you say, you're at Fullerton. I noticed you a little bit at Fullerton because of the time my youngest brother was doing certain camps. He went to a Fullerton camp, and I'm just following my little brother with his journey, and I'm trying to do, well, we're trying to do everything he can to get to where he wants to be. So tell me about the time at Fullerton. How many years were you there? What was the difference from that competition to even the USL competition in the academy?
Okay. Yeah, I'll start off by saying like how I even got there and how I even recruited. So
thank you.
So during my last year at Galaxy, I actually had gotten hurt. So the year before is when I played all the USL games. And then this next year, this is the last year. This is the year where they usually tell kids, okay, we're going to sign you to the first team, or we're going to sign you to the second team. And during December, January, this is where there's all the preseason camps for the first team and second team. I had gotten hurt, so I didn't get the opportunity to go to preseason with the second team or first team. So I kind of had to switch my mode from, all right, I want to be on the first team or second team, to, okay, I need to go to college, or I need to go somewhere else. to try and make it, try and be a pro. So during that time, I started doing the recruiting process for college, but I was so late, as you know, like other kids, they do it when they're sophomore, junior. I'm already a senior. It's like 6 months until I graduate. I'm trying to get into a college.
Yeah.
So options were very limited. And like I said, Fullerton is just like an hour away from where Galaxy is. And a few kids on my team, they had already committed there. So that's how I got the connection. And I just went down for a visit. And the coach was super chill. The assistant coach was chill. And the main thing was it was so close to Galaxy that they could come watch me play anytime. So that was one of the biggest reasons why I chose that school. And yeah, obviously it was close to Las Vegas, so I could go home anytime as well. So yeah, I chose Cal State Fullerton.
So hold on. So they didn't even, you didn't have no film or nothing. They just went to go watch your Galaxy game. How did they? Yeah, that's all they did.
Yeah, because I mean, like Galaxy is it's a big deal in like Southern California.
Yeah, no, right. I'm just trying to get the visuals because again, I'm going through a process with my younger brother, and he had to get film. He didn't get the chance to get to an academy team. He played what was it, USL? What was it? The
UPSL?
ECNL?
Oh, ECNL, sorry.
He was on an ECNL club. So again, I'm just trying to visualize what exactly happened because obviously you were in an academy and that's big prestige thing, you know, like you said. Yeah. Galaxy is like the team out here. So I guess what I'm saying is like when you had the contact with the coach, I'm sure the players that committed like, hey, we got the homie, he can join too, go check him out. Yeah. I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess the prestige of saying he's on the academy as well. So they probably took the idea of okay, he's good enough to at least be in the academy. We can actually go watch him, right?
Yeah.
How it kind of went? Like they went to go watch a game or two.
Yeah, I would say it's more because they were scouting. So college coaches, they just go to all the Galaxy games. They go to, you know, when there's a showcase in Florida, there's a whole bunch of. So I'm assuming that's how they saw me.
Okay.
And I had a good resume at the time. I mean, I've been with the national team.
Yeah, no, definitely.
In the USL, which is already professional, and we had gone to the final 3 years in a row. So I had a lot of exposure at a young age.
Yeah.
It was, I need film. It was kind of just, you could just look at my resume as a 17-year-old and like, okay, I know this kid is good.
Yeah.
It was that thing. So, yeah.
How long did that take? Right then and there when you met the coach, or when did they offer? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, I just went for an unofficial visit. So it was just one day spending time on the campus and gonna go eat and stuff like that. And then they offered me at the end of the day. And yeah, I just took time to review it and I didn't have much options. So I pretty much had to go with them.
Yeah, which is, I think you made a great decision. And once that, I mean, how long were you there for?
I was only there for one semester. So I only went for the season.
Holy shit. I mean, that's dope. I think that's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you really needed, right?
Yeah, that's all I needed.
Yeah. That's cool.
Because I wanted to go pro as soon as possible. So
yeah.
I just went for the season, and then in the time of January, I just left and I went to Europe actually.
I went
and I tried out. I first tried out in Germany, and then I tried out in Sweden. I tried out in Denmark. So about like 4 teams in total I tried out for during that time. And it was
let me ask that real quick. Again, these are the details I like to know because I'm all about information, trying to understand a lot. When you say I tried out, again, did you have a connection or did you just got up and left and were like, hey, knock on the door of this team and say, hey, can I try out? How does those things go about is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I had a connection. I was working with an agent at the time.
Okay.
So I think there would be no chance if I just
walked up and said, hey.
Yeah, walked up and said, hey, or if I just tried to email them my video, it would be way harder. So
an agent, basically.
Yeah, you need some type of connect. It could be an agent, it could be a coach, it could be a friend of the technical director. Like you just need some type of connection into the club or where you're trying to go.
Okay. Nice. And how do you feel about those tryouts? I mean, you're at where you're at, but like, is there something different that they wanted to look at, or how did you feel about all that?
Yeah, those trials were very hard, obviously, because the first 4 teams that I tried out for, they all said no. And that was kind of the first time in my career that that like the coach wasn't messing with me. Like the coach, they didn't like me, stuff like that. They want to pick me up because, yeah, like I said, my whole career I was one of the best players on the team. The coach always wanted to play me, stuff like that. So that time was very hard. And yeah, I'm all the way in Europe, far away from home. I'm living by myself. I'm in a new culture. I'm in a country with new language. I can't read the stop signs. I can't order this food. Well, not I can't order, but I can't read the menu.
Right.
I'm trying to order food. I got to Google Translate everything. So that time was very hard. And after like the fourth team said, no, we don't want you, I just wanted to go back home, if I'm being honest. Like, I was like, I'm done over here. I just want to go back home. Maybe I'll go back to college or I'll play USL or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I was just like over it at that point. It was cold. I remember it was so cold during that time when I tried out in Germany. That was the first time I ever played a game in snow. And I remember my feet were just freezing. Like every time I would touch the ball, it would hurt. And I'm like, man, I'm done with this. I just want to go home. So that time, I remember that time, it was very hard.
And so when you came back, then what did you realize? What do I got to do? Who do I got to talk to? Or my agent? Like, where can we go to the next step to professionalism? What did you do?
Yeah, there was actually more to the story in Europe. Yeah, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't want you to if you want to keep on it, go ahead. I want to.
Yeah. So.
I know our time is limited with you, so go ahead if you want.
No, it's good. Yeah,
appreciate it.
So after the fourth team, and must have been Sweden, they said no. I actually stayed with my friend that played for Malmo. I don't know if you know that club in Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden.
They play in Champions League.
Where Zlatan came out of.
Yeah. So my friend Roman Gall, he played for them.
Okay.
And my agent at the time was just saying, "Oh, just go stay with him, and I'll try to find you a different team somewhere."
Okay.
So I stayed with him for like 3 weeks, and then a team in Sweden called Kalmar FF.
Mm-hmm.
Their under-19s were the best in Sweden at the time. They offered me a trial, so I went for about a week, and then they liked me. So they were like, "Oh yeah, you can join our under-19s, and in 6 months we'll see if you're good enough to sign for the first team." So yeah, I finally got to go back home, got all my stuff, was there for a week, and then I went back to that team Kalmar, and I was there for 6 months playing with the under-19s. It was like crazy experience. Living in Sweden, the people, I mean, I love the people in Sweden. The level was good, stuff like that. The food was really good as well.
So you were
I was there.
You were loving it so far.
Yeah, I was loving it. I was like, okay, I see myself, like even being on the first team.
Yeah.
I saw myself, I was like, okay, the level is good, but it's doable for me. So yeah, I got there. Things, unfortunately, obviously, it didn't work out. I didn't get signed to the first team, so I had to leave. And then during that time, there was some American investors. They bought this team in Denmark. It was third division. And their whole idea was, okay, we're going to bring American kids or North American kids like Canada, the US, Mexico, stuff like that. We're going to bring them over to Denmark. We're going to play them in this lower league, the third league. And then we're going to try and sell them off to teams maybe in Denmark, Sweden, Norway, something like that. Because obviously Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, they're all doing good around this time. So the American market for prospects is booming. So they had this whole business model. So I went over there. I tried out for the team. Had an American coach. Like I said, American investors. So they liked me. They signed me. And then it's like the same thing over again. Get my stuff, go back home, fly back out to Denmark, stuff like that. And then, now I'm thinking, okay, this is where I'm going to make it.
Right.
I have Americans around me, so they're going to be pushing for me. I'm going to be playing in the third division. So it's not, the craziest level. It's just how I could just go from step to step to step.
Yeah.
But then just so, another roadblock in the story, like I couldn't get my work permit. I was ineligible to play. So for about 3 months, I was just training. No games, nothing, just training. I had some other American kids with me, some Canadian kids with me. We all lived in a small little house over there. So yeah, it was hard for all of us because we're obviously so far away from home.
Yeah.
And we're not playing, and they're just telling us every week, "Oh, be ready. The work permit's coming. You guys are gonna play." Yada yada yada. And then one day they're just like, oh, we can't get your work permit, so we're just gonna cut you. Like, yeah, we're just gonna cut you. We don't think it's best to keep you here. You might as well just go back home. Like, there's no future for you.
I
And it
call
was,
bullshit on that. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead, right? I call bullshit
yeah,
on that.
it
Go
was
ahead.
just like out of nowhere. Cause one week they're like, okay, all you guys need to be ready. You guys are gonna play very soon when you get your work permit. And then the next week they're like, we can't get the work permit, so we gotta cut everyone's contract. All the young kids,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta cut you guys' contract. So that plan that we thought was gonna be so good for us, we just had to throw it out the window. Everybody had to go back home. So, so yeah, during that time, I just went through a lot of stuff. So packed up my stuff from Denmark, went back home to Las Vegas, and this time I'm just chilling at home. I'm still working with that agent from before,
Right.
so he got me a connection with the lights, the Las Vegas lights in the
Yeah,
USL.
yeah.
So I would just train with them like a couple of days out of the week while I was hanging out here in Vegas, just waiting for something to pop up.
Mhm.
And then after like a month or two of me training with the lights, my agent had a connection with FC Cincinnati because he used to be the agent of one of the sporting directors. So he had that connection. So after their season was done, every MLS team has postseason training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just went over there and I had a trial. It was literally for like 3 days. And then they said they liked me. So they had bought my homegrown rights during that time from Galaxy. And then yeah, I became a homegrown for FC Cincinnati. So that's really how my whole story came up.
Yeah, I mean, you say, I mean, from the guests we have, like I said, I hope the viewers and parents that listen to this, it's not a one-way easy street at all.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, from your path to for Danny's path and the other pro soccer players that we've talking to, like every story has an ups and downs and obstacles and sacrifices. And again, I tell this to my youngest brother. He's 21 now. It's like, look, this is not over, dude. Like you've had blocks in front of you that you had to hurdle over. Like if you really want it, you can't get discouraged and be like, oh, this is not going the way I want, because it's never really going to go that way because it's not easy. Things are not easy, especially becoming a professional player. Because, like you said earlier, you said, I'm sure there's players that are like, oh, okay, like I don't want to do this no more. And that mindset just like, I just don't want to like go through all that again. Because I'm sure there's players, if we were in your shoes, they would have been like, fuck this. Like, really, this is what's going to keep happening. I'm at 21, like, or 20, like I've been through so much, like I should be here. Like that's the thing that just breaks themselves down. And they got to understand, they got to have that mindset, yo, like this is going to go somewhere. I have to believe in this. Like I do believe in this because that minute, that second that you just break yourself, you break yourself from the surroundings and the path that you've gone to, it's just going to finish like that. Because if you would have been like, fuck again, like the Denmark team or that investors, like again, that probably like anybody would have broke down and be like, no, fuck that. I'm going to go use my education and be a doctor or be this or be that. Because again, it takes those people that have that mindset. And again, the people that are listening, the people that are watching, like this guy had it since he was 13 or 14 or even younger. Like he left his family. And it shows, bro. Like it really does show. Like I see it in your voice, and I feel it. That from that age, you were like, nah, I want something, and you're 21 now. You know, like that whole journey just really explains a lot, and I hope a lot of people can take this from it and run with it because, again, like we said earlier, at the end of the day, like it's on the kid how bad they want it. Again, there could be parents that push so much. And if they don't feel it, then it's like, well, we tried everything. And then there's the opposite where it's like parents don't really know what the fuck's going on and the kid found a way.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah, I would say a lot of it too is just circumstance and situation. Like for me, like I said, my agent, he just has this connection in Cincinnati. And then I go during the off season and the coach likes me for some reason. Like the training wasn't even that crazy. It was just like, it's postseason, so no one's really trying that hard. We're doing like little fun games and stuff like that, but the coaches just like me. And then I think the main thing that helped me in that situation was the homegrown rights. The fact that they could buy them for so cheap and I could be considered a homegrown player and not count towards the salary cap. So I'm a very low risk player and like high reward. So
Yeah.
if I do good, they paid like pennies for me, and I could give them a great return on their investment.
Yeah.
Then they look like geniuses. You know what I mean? Like they just got this kid, like no one really was messing with him for a while, and then now he's doing good for us. So yeah, I think that the thing of situation and circumstance can like make or break somebody's career.
Yeah.
For real.
No, definitely. I get that. And again, I appreciate that side of it because we don't know. We learn from all the guests that we've had. We learn from all that, and like we want to assume that we know some type of details, but stuff like that is what me personally teaches me a lot. It expands my ideas and my mind on like this sport that we love so much. Because again, he's a coach. I'm more into it as like a marketer or just like a surrounding fan. What can it be expanded again? Because in my personal view, I think the system out here is very fucked. I think it's not as good as it should be. But that's another podcast. But again, we're going with what we've been talking about, and it's nothing easy. It's something that again your circumstances and the drive that you have, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Trying to think.
I mean, well, before you want to think too long, I want to take it to mind. But so when did you like I said the connection at Cincinnati? I mean, do you care? I mean, did you get drafted or did you just sign you?
Is that?
I'm sorry. It's all good. The time at Cincinnati, did you get drafted? I forget, or did you just get signed?
No, I had just gotten signed. So, do you know about the homegrown rights thing?
Yeah, because I know you mentioned that. But again, I was just trying to understand if you got signed because I know you have a teammate that got drafted.
Yeah.
Pavon, I think. What was his last name?
Say that again?
Pavon. No, what was his last? He's at the Chivas right now. What's his last? He's number.
Oh, Christian
Pizon. So he got drafted. Again, we've been trying to get him a hold of him to talk to him, hopefully in the future. But again, your path was different. You got the homegrown rights and you got signed. So that was it. You didn't have to go to the whole draft and shit. You just got to the team and was like, hey, you're signed. We got your rights. We're good, right?
Yeah. Usually when you get drafted, it's just straight out of college.
Yeah.
After the college season.
Yeah.
During that time. Yeah. Me, it was just they just bought my rights and then I signed the next day.
The way it sounds for you, to me, in my personal view, sounds a lot better than draft because we've seen two people get drafted. Your buddy on your team and Trejo. Trejo got drafted with LA, and then we kept up. I keep up with him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to the lights." And me and my brother were like, we really think there's no need for a fucking draft. In my personal view, that's just all show. That's to put it on ESPN FC. That's to put it out there to hype up the sport. But like I said, the way the rest of the world does things, I'm sure they're looking at this and be like, what's the point of a draft? That's for football. That's for basketball. That's for baseball. Like, I don't know if they're trying to make it a thing. That's just my personal opinion looking outside in. Again, I don't know real details, but the way we saw it and the way I spoke with Danny and saw your teammate, I was just like, what was the whole point of that, bro? Like, they took pictures. Like, I have this scarf on, and I'm like, yo, he's at Chivas and he's at Lights. Like, bro, like, what? I was expecting to see him in LAFC. Like, anyways, that was my thing. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but let's stay on with Cincinnati. Once you felt that, what was your mindset? How did you move on? Like, what was just you're going into that part of your life now?
Man, yeah, it was unexpected, to be honest, because I had just gone from not even a couple months before, I was being denied by like a third division team in Denmark. But then all of a sudden the MLS team, first division in America, they want me. So it was just like unbelievable to think, like, I can't believe I'm going to be in the MLS. Like, I'm getting paid like significant amount of money. I'm going to be like having my own spot, like my own apartment, all this stuff. Like, I'm going to be in FIFA, stuff like that. People were telling me.
That's dope,
like,
right?
that was pretty sick too. So it was just like a crazy, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like I came up a little bit because like I said, I was being denied, and then now I'm in the MLS.
Like, did you feel like, holy shit? Like, was there a moment where you're like, fuck, everything I look back at, I guess I made it. Did you feel some type of way? Like, looking back at everything you just told us, was there a moment in your life where you're like, damn, I'm here?
I would say
was it?
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't the time I got signed, but it was when like I played my first game, and yeah, I just ran onto the field. There was no fans. I think that kind of
because of
that
COVID,
didn't
right?
help because it was COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I had my first game, and then like when there was a corner or the ball was all the way on the other side, like I would just like look around, like damn, like I can't believe I'm playing here. Like I'm playing in this nice stadium. I was playing against Alejandro Bedoya because we were playing against Philly. And I remember I used to watch him in the 2014 World Cup.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe I'm playing against him. So that was like the first moment in the MLS where I was like, damn, I'm really here.
That's
So,
dope.
Nice.
That's dope.
That's cool.
That's just like, yeah, that's dope. That's success right there.
What was your feeling like when you finally got the fans there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was sick. That was sick because I feel like that's the fans is really what it makes.
Oh yeah.
What makes like the professional environment.
Oh
Because
yeah.
obviously I played in the USL. I played for the national team, like the youth national teams.
Yeah.
But I think the fans, like when they got the drums, when they're doing the chants, when they let off the smoke flares, when they're waving the flags, stuff like that. Like that's what really makes the environment like special. And that's what really makes it the professional environment. So the fans there, like that's everything. And like I said, when it was COVID, there was no fans. It felt like we're playing like a preseason match. We're playing like just a little friendly. It didn't feel like a real game, you know?
Yeah.
So the fans are so important for the environment.
Yeah. That's no, I asked because I'm like, you going into the season with COVID, no fans. It's like, whoa, like what's going on? And now, then what? You however long after that, and then that first game with the fans there, the environment, the atmosphere. You know, I'm sure the nerves probably worked up a little bit more than usually that day, probably.
Yeah, for sure they did.
Definitely.
Nice.
Are we good on time? I want to go good. Let me know. We're still good. You got anything more? Because I want to end it good with him. Because that's most of everything.
Yeah. How long have you been there already at Cincy? So 3 years, 2 years?
Yeah, I'm going on my third year. So
third year.
Yeah, because I just checked. Yeah. Okay. Third year. All right. Nice. Interesting.
So can we move on to the fun stuff?
I think so. Yeah, we can move on.
Did we cover most of your stuff? Because we have a fun part, which is the ending.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a little bit more like Cincinnati I could talk about.
Damn, dude, I'm appreciating your time. That's what I'm saying. Because I want to make sure we're good on time with you. I want to hear what you want to say. That's all I'm saying. Like, you want to keep going? Go ahead.
Yeah. So
tell us Cincinnati, man. Let us know all that.
Yeah, signed with Cincinnati. It's been like a wild experience like with the club. I don't know if you know much about like what's been going on with.
Well, we're gonna get into that right away. So me and my brother, I'll be too real with you because we're transparent as much as possible, and we even said this a little bit with Danny. I'm not saying we're big fans of MLS. Me and my brother have been fans of MLS when it first started in '96. We were Galaxy fans when Jorge Campos and other legends were on the team when it started, when it was at the Rose Bowl. Okay. But then we fell off. We realized, holy shit, there's Europe. There's better players.
Yeah.
So we literally said, all right, peace out, MLS. We're looking at real soccer. And that's how we fell in love with the game. When we started playing, we started mimicking players. So as we look at MLS and we're, again, it's not that we're haters. It's just that we're still trying to understand the dynamics and what they're trying to accomplish. In my personal opinion, maybe my brother can agree or disagree. Or we're good.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's because of him.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So all I'm saying is that I feel like the MLS is a structure of a current American sport. Like I said, from the draft to how they sell their players to how it's structured from like 32 plus teams now. There's a playoff. Again, I think, in my opinion, MLS, it's going to be its own sport away from the rest of the world, which is not bad. At the same time, I don't think it's good. It's just going to be something great. But that's my opinion. But go ahead. Because Cincinnati is a new team, right?
Yeah, new team. Yeah. So I would say to that too, like all the sports, like you said, if it's in America, it's going to be Americanized. Yes. So we're going to have a draft like the NBA. We're going to have salary cap like the NBA. Yeah. Like everything within soccer is going to be Americanized. So you just got to, at this point, we just got to accept that and take it for what it is.
You're right.
And then also, I think when people try to compare it to Europe and the biggest leagues, it's not really a fair comparison because the MLS has only been around 26 years versus the EPL has been around 150 years, 130 years, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So I
No, I
think we
agree.
just gotta wait, you know? It's really just you gotta let the league grow. You gotta let stuff, you know, just let stuff grow because I mean the NBA, you think about the NBA in like 70s and 80s, it was definitely wasn't as big as it is now. Like the
Right.
Oh yeah.
contracts, the players, like people make jokes all the time how in like the 60s, like dudes was part-time electricians, dudes was
Yeah.
part-time plumbers, then they would go play in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta let the league grow at the end of the day. So
And it's getting,
yeah,
I think it's getting there. I mean, over time, I mean, it disappeared for a little bit. And I think lately, I would say the last 6 years, it's really kind of, I want to say taken off, but it's finally gotten to that attraction to like, okay, like before, like kind of like how we said, we kind of stopped watching it. But I would say the last like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm like heavily invested, but I'll watch it and I watch it now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's actually gotten a little bit more in tune into what's going on. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. It's kind of working out better and
Yeah,
and
'cause-
it's improving.
I know. Again, I want to get to your point and your talk. To that, the time it brought me back, I guess, to actually see how this is going to develop is when we got, because we're from LA. We're in LA, so when we got, like, again, we were Galaxy fans, but again, Galaxy it just felt different. But when LAFC came about, for me personally, I was like, oh shit, okay, we're closer to downtown, we're closer to the Coliseum. And when that team came about, I guess you could say I became a fan because I started going to those games. And I took him to a game once because, again, he was just like, I don't know, I don't want to go. And I took him to a game. And I think LAFC did it the right way. They did research. And when they brought that fan base in that section, it really felt a little bit more European of what we're used to seeing. Not because I've never been to a European game yet, but that atmosphere, they did it right. You know what I mean? So it did draw me back, and I think that's what he was saying. Like it's growing, and exactly what you're saying. Let's give it time. You know, these things will develop. You know, and I think that's what drew me back was not necessarily the product. I mean, we watched the games; they were good. They had Vela on the team and whatnot, but the atmosphere, I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised. I think he was surprised when I finally took him to that game, and yeah, man, I think I'm going to agree with you. I think it's just time until it gets to like 10 to 12, 15 years where it's going to be like, okay, this has changed. This is a lot better.
Yeah, they're really trying to, when the World Cup comes in 2026 to the US, they're really trying to push it. And then hopefully during that time when all the young kids see like the World Cup and stuff like that, then it'll really explode. That's what the MLS is trying to do now. That's why they're expanding so much. That's why they're building so many soccer-specific stadiums. So in 2026, they're really hoping for like a big boom or big return on investment for each team. So yeah, we just got to give it time at the day.
Well,
so
at the end of the day, I think they're still going to get a return on investment in somehow because the World Cup is a World Cup. There's nothing else. There's nothing else like it, man. Like there's like a 1 point something billion people watch that game. That tournament alone, you know what I mean? So they're gonna get that. It's the thing, in my opinion, it's the thing how they do with that return. You know, there's been a time when there was teams that came up. For example, there was Chivas USA. Things happened. They put money into that, but it didn't go the way it was supposed to. You know what I mean? So I just hope that the investors and the people that return investment on that can do and grow from that and evolve from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can only make the sport better if they know how to deal with all that. But I mean, again, I want to get to your point with Cincinnati and keep going with that.
All right. Yeah. So Cincinnati, during my first preseason, everything was going good. Like the level was, I feel like I was up to speed with the level. But then the coach that had picked me, he got fired.
Damn.
During the preseason. Like it was a whole incident. I won't get much into it. You can like, you can research.
I'm sure,
Yeah. So he had left. Then we had an interim head coach, and this was before COVID. So everything was normal. Cincinnati was trying to like turn it around because the year before they had been last in the league. They had been worst in almost every category you don't want to be worst in.
Right.
So they're just trying to turn it around. And then COVID had hit and obviously put the world on pause. And it was kind of like back to square one for everybody. And yeah, during that time, they had to jam pack all the games into one little into a tighter schedule. So you'd be playing like 3 games in a week, stuff like that. So during that time, all the right backs, they had gotten hurt. So I was like the last option to play. And I feel like COVID helped me. COVID helped me in a way to like get my foot into the door and like play games, stuff like that. Other people, they can say, oh, COVID like messed up my whole stuff. COVID messed up my money, stuff like that. But for me, COVID like helped me because it congested all these games. And unfortunately, people got hurt. And yeah, they just had to play me. So that kind of helped me. I started playing towards the end of the year. I guess I showed enough. And then they re-signed me for the second year, which was this year. And then this year, I went back preseason again. We had hired a new coach. So it's like square one again. The coach liked me, stuff like that. And then halfway through the year, the coach gets fired. Yeah, so it's like already been through like 3 coaches at this point. So yeah, he gets fired, and then new coach comes in, and then the new coach, I guess he likes me, so he started me every single game, and which was good for me. But as a team, we were just like losing every single game.
Yeah.
So yeah, with Cincinnati right now, we're just trying to like turn it all around because we kind of been like the laughing stock of the league. To be honest, this is like our 3rd year getting last place, which has never been done before. So yeah, I mean, this is not how I imagined my career would start, but at least for me, I can say at least I'm playing in MLS. Like,
of course,
not a lot of kids like 21, 20 years old can say they already been playing 2 years in MLS.
Right,
so,
and to offer that, and I want to say this directly. I think you have an amazing mindset. I think you have to, I mean, pat yourself in the back, not in a cocky way, but in the sense of like, look, I've been through so much to this point, and like the way you just said right now, like you don't think you were going to be on a losing type team, and I personally don't believe that's going to be like that forever. This time will go like past, you know. And I'm sure you agree with me. What I'm saying is like I think there's going to be something special for you, and I feel it just by conversating with you because, again, you got me at your mindset when you were young, and I think the how do I say this? Like it's gonna be like there's gonna be another path, like there's gonna be a bigger avenue for you, in my personal opinion, just by talking to you. And you just keep that mindset, dude, and then you'll possibly go on a better team. And again, even the team might turn it around next year. Who knows? Like in soccer, we just don't know until the right people are implemented in that organization. Like I said, there was time when there was a chief, as you would say, and those people just didn't do those things right, and that's why it ended the way it ended, in my opinion. But if the organizations understand they have a real thing here, they will implement the right people for it to bounce up, to bounce back. Again, same with LAFC. I've watched them as much as I can, and they started off hot. Now they didn't even make the playoffs, and they've sold almost every player except for Vela. And again, it's just the certain amount of people and things like that. But I think we're invested in a beautiful game that there can be a turnaround. There can be, again.
Yeah.
And I believe that for you. I think, like you said, I don't think you're going to get discouraged that you're in a losing team. I just think that with your grind that you're going through it's gonna keep getting you to where you want to be, because again, from the time you left your family, look at it now, bro. Like you've had so many like blocks in front of you, like, oh fuck, all these hurdles. I think that's just what's gonna make you grow into a better player. That mindset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just off of this conversation alone, bro. Like I don't know you personally, besides what you've told me, but I think that you go about your own game and your mindset is what's going to lead on to better things. If you stick to that and just grow off of that and keep your mind right and do the right things. Because like I strongly believe, and we're going to get to this other part, I strongly believe what Cristiano Ronaldo says. Like if you work hard and you exceed from your talent and you really put the investment and time and that mindset, people can exceed from the professionalism. You know, same with Kobe Bryant. That guy was phenomenal. And I have to throw this one thing out there. I don't know if it'll make too much sense, but I remember watching Kobe on a podcast when he retired. He was like, I thought when I came to the league, it was going to be legit tough players, but there's players out there that don't give a shit. They're just collecting the check. There's real people out there in the league. They're like, I'm just waiting for that big contract so I can be good. You know what I mean? And Kobe was like, when he heard that from actual players telling him, he was like, well, damn, I'm gonna take advantage. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna take advantage and fucking legit play ball out because I want to be something. And look at how far he's gone. Look at the legacy he's put because of that mindset. Again, any other player would have been like, you know what? Yeah, man, you're just picking up that check too. All right, cool. Fuck it. Like, and look how far those people have gone. Like, you know what I mean? The difference. So what I'm saying, I'm not trying to compare you to Kobe, but the mindset that you have, to me, it's pretty like legit that it can take you further.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, people can get discouraged. I'm sure there's players on your team. They might not say it. They're like, damn, like, do I want to continue on the shitty ass team? I mean, I am getting paid, but do I want to continue? You know what I mean? There's going to be people like that, no matter what, in any type of generality of jobs, of professions, of relationships. Like, people are going to be like, man, I can't take it. Like he said earlier, this is too much.
Yeah.
And not once have I heard you say that. All I've heard is like, no, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to figure out whatever situation I'm in. I'm going to keep going. And that's dope for me, dude. That's dope. And that's why I'm enjoying this conversation. Yeah. I appreciate you giving me a little bit more time. I know we're limited on your time, but dude, the so far what you telling me, like, I'm excited for you, dude. I'm excited to see the future for you. Like, no matter what happens, I think you can go a long way.
Yeah, appreciate that, bro.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
You got something?
I'm good for now. I mean, we're kind of hitting all the nails in the coffin here.
Yeah, but are you still on Cincinnati, or can we do the fun stuff? I'm on your time.
Yeah, let's do the fun stuff now.
Okay, we're gonna. So this is the transition that we go to. We've covered everything. I'm glad you let me say what I said right now. We appreciate your time. Again, I love the story about you, bro. I'm before I even go to the fun stuff, I'm gonna stay connected with you, bro. Like, again, the fact that you went to Fullerton is something that is close to home to us. Because again, I look at my youngest brother and I try to tell him to watch our podcast. I try to explain to these things like it's not over, dude. Because if there's a blockade, if there's a coach that you don't like, or he's not playing you as much, like, this is not over. And that's why the reason why we have this podcast and why we try to get more information as possible and try to get more guests as possible as well, because we can only do so much. Like, we have our opinions. When we have episodes with no people, it's more opinions and going off of games and what we've seen. But I really do appreciate your time, dude. I really do. All right.
Yeah.
So we got So this is basically rapid fire. Basically, we're gonna quick questions. Whatever comes to your head is gonna be fun. Like, just basically rapid fire questions. If you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just quick. They're random as you can think of. So it's random, it's not like soccer. It's just random. So whatever the first thing you pop in your head, you go
say it. And if you like have anything, you can pass on it.
Yeah, it's whatever you want.
Yeah. So let's go with it.
All right, I'll start it off. Okay, ready? Texting or talking?
Texting.
Favorite day of the week?
Sunday.
Favorite city in the U.S. You've been to?
Favorite city? Yeah, LA.
Favorite country that you've traveled to?
I'll say Italy.
Italy? Okay. Nickname your parents used to call you, if you have one.
Z.
Z. Last song you listened to?
It was Rod Wave. I don't know the name of it, but it was Rod Wave. That's all I know.
Okay, let me ask one of mine real quick because he's on music. Drake or Kanye?
Ooh. I would say Kanye. I
love this man. I love this man. Real quick, this is not even about me, bro. The fact that you said that, I met this fool on Wednesday for the first time in my life. I met Kanye West. I'll show you. I'm gonna text you in a bit. I don't want to take too much time. You know he has a basketball team, right? Like high school academy.
Yeah, it's called like Donda Academy,
yes.
Right?
So that team played down the street from my house in Whittier at a college, a small ass college. I saw him post it. I bought tickets. I went over there. I said, fuck it. I'm taking my camera. Boom. I went down to the floor, took massive pictures, shook his fucking hand, bro. Shook his hand and I told him, like, thank you for coming to Whittier. He just looked right at me and said, cool. Bro, like, I'm the biggest fan. I'm the biggest fan, bro. Like, if you get to follow me, whatever, like, I'm the biggest fan. That shit was a moment in life for me that I'm never gonna forget. So the fact that you said Kanye, I love you even more. Let's go. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, I had to throw it out there, man, because that was a moment in my life.
That's cool, man.
I'm gonna enjoy it, bro. Like, I had to.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Okay. Next one. Would you rather speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Talk to animals.
Your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
There you go. Let's see. Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Dawn or dusk?
Dusk.
Place you most wanted to travel to, if you haven't traveled there yet.
I want to go to Bali.
Bali. Nice. Favorite junk food?
Favorite junk. Oh, I love Takis.
Favorite childhood TV show or cartoon?
That's a good question because I don't really watch like a lot of.
Yeah, no, I it's on there. I was just wondering if you don't have one, it's cool.
If I could think of one, nah, I would say basic like SpongeBob. I used to watch SpongeBob all the time.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Let's see. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Favorite number?
19.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Yeah.
Let's see. Just skipping sense because these are like some of them like girl related.
You gotta be rapping, man.
I know, but some of them are like girl related.
Oh, because like girl gender related.
Yeah, it's like gender. Like it was like every older.
All right, well, let me ask my all-time one. You ready for this one? Because I might need an explanation for this one as well.
All right.
So I'm gonna ask you, so you're gonna kind of tell me why in a short span. Messi or Ronaldo, and why?
I say Messi. Yeah, it's got to be Messi. Just like off the eye test, you don't even need to go into numbers because both the numbers are sick. You just gotta look at the way they play it. And just Messi is just an entertainer.
Okay, I don't know if I like you anymore. I'm a Cristiano fan. He's a Messi fan. But I'm a soccer fan.
Yeah, I can see by the jerseys in the back. You know,
you see that one right there?
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, it's all right. I mean, I do give credit for Messi finally winning for Argentina. That's big for him, and I do like that. Can I give him one more? Or do you got it?
I got a couple.
Okay, go ahead.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Is hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yes.
And I think that's probably it.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Have you ever had yerba mate?
No, but I know
what
people
it is. It's fucking amazing, bro. Try it. You'll change your life.
I need to try it.
Your boy Messi on it, so try it.
Yeah, all the South Americans are on it.
Yeah, there you go. You got one. I got those.
I'm good.
Okay, there's one that I got too. You got to give me two people. It could be celebrity. It could be someone close to you, but I would choose more celebrity, like an idol or something. But you got to give me two people. Give me the name, and I'll give you the question. So give me those two people that are close to you that you admire. Who are they? Again, it could be an artist. Yeah. It could be like just someone like that I look up to, that dude, like just someone that you. It could be all that.
First, I would say Travis Scott.
Okay,
and then
it has to be the same level of him. Who's close to that?
Who's close? Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Neymar.
So Neymar?
Yeah, Neymar. Are they the same level?
No, that's on you. Like you, like I said, like for me, like this is the question. If I had this question, if someone said, "Hey, Kanye or Cristiano," that's the level of like, I look up to them. So those two guys are like that level.
Yeah.
Okay. So then here's the question: You're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, but there's only one seat, and on one side you see Neymar, and the other side you see Travis. Who do you pick up on that boat to go with you back to shore? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. You got Travis, you got Neymar. Dude, you can only take one, bro. You gotta swim back. I'm sorry.
Oh, they got swim. They're not gonna die or nothing.
I don't know. That's on them. You're in the middle of the ocean, but you're taking one to come with you back. However they get back is on them. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like that's the tough question I've been asking all the soccer players on this. Yeah,
I'll probably take Neymar, to be honest.
Ooh.
I'll take Neymar.
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
like Travis, he got the ability to swim back. He
Okay.
crazy. He crazy like that. Neymar would be like, I need someone to carry me.
I need someone to carry me.
I hit my ankle again. Can you use the boat?
Yeah. So I'll take Neymar.
That's dope. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's a good question. I never heard a question.
Oh, that's dope. But no, I've been asking all the guests we have. It's funny, man. Like people, like that's why I said either you get someone that's like an idol. Like I try to stay away from like personal people because that's even harder.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like it's like, oh damn, like it's bad.
If it's family, it's too easy. It's just it's too
some way.
Well, no, I'm saying like, well, like if you were to be like, oh, Travis Scott and his dad, I'm like, oh, he's gonna do that.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I think we've had someone like that. We're like, okay, let's not do like relatives.
Yeah.
Let's
So
do
let's
like
keep it-
celebrity-esque or just people that you're inspired by,
Yeah.
kind of that deal.
Yeah.
So you taking Ronaldo or Kanye?
Oh, you asking me? I'm taking Kanye because I met him. I'm sorry, bro. Like I shook his fucking hand. I don't know if you felt, but like if you ever shook Neymar's hand, like that's probably simultaneously the same feeling. Like if you ever get to shake his hand, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!" I just like, bro, the moment that just the energy that just rushed into me after I shook his fucking hand was just like just surreal for me, bro. So like, as much as I love Cristiano and watch him play, like. Again, I know it's a soccer podcast, but like Kanye is like really touched me so much. Like people realize that like I'm a big fan of his, and so the fact that he came to my city of all cities in the world for his game to be played at was 5 minutes away from me. I could have missed that opportunity, bro. Like I got up and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm jetting there." I was like, "Bro, like Kanye, that's it." That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this was fun. We appreciate you. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna stay in touch. I'm not gonna blow you up or anything, but like I'm gonna watch your career. I hope I get to watch you the upcoming season against LAFC. I really love the conversation you have. I love the passion you got, especially the mindset you got. Keep at it, bro. I think the sky is the limit. You know what? No, because people have actually touched the moon and there's footprints on the moon, so you can go further than that. Real talk. Really, like people have fucking touched the moon. Yeah. So in that sense, like I thank you for this. I know it took us some time. I know I DM'd you for a while and I appreciate it, especially on Christmas Eve. Thank you, man. Really, hopefully we can do this again. We're gonna try to keep this going because we've been doing as much as we can with the podcast because he's a coach. Yeah, he has a team. He has a daughter. He's a father. So like we're trying to keep at it at this again. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you again, man. Yeah, thank you, man. We hope you enjoyed your time here, and we try to make this as enjoyable as much as we can, as fun as we can, and we try to get stories like yourself out there because we don't get to hear these kinds of things, especially with the soccer world. I mean, we get into the image of the European side, and Messi and Ronaldo. That's kind of what these kids tend to see, and then to see a kid out of I want to say like locally, but just in the sense of out of the U.S. and just kind of your upbringing and your pathway and all that stuff. It's like I love these stories because since I coach and I hear some stories like this, I tell these stories to the parents, and parents are just like, wow. So like just to hear this, it's like it's amazing to know that like the things that I try to tell parents in some sense isn't BS. It's like there's someone there. There's someone out there that's gone through this or done this path, and it's like it's not easy. And to hear your story, basically kind of what like I pursue and push kids to do, and for you to actually kind of be that living example, it's like, there it is, there's that proof. There's that example. Like this is what it takes to get there. And this is what it takes to do this and to reach your goals and reach your dreams and to pursue that end goal of, being one of the players in the US and things like that, especially in this country. Cause like we kind of went off of it earlier, like all these distractions of, basketball, baseball, football, so many other distractions and amongst other things. And for you to have that mindset to just stick to what you wanted to do and what you believe in, it shows now that you're there.
Yeah, man. Very inspirational, bro.
Yeah, that's dope.
You got it, man. Again.
Me on for real.
Yeah, and we hope to get it out there for everyone to hear and to see and hopefully like inspires others because that's what we would like to do and that's what we enjoy is seeing people like yourself get into this realm of the soccer world.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If you have anything finally to say, if not, we can end it here.
No, yeah, just thanks for having me on. I appreciate having the conversation with y'all. And yeah, this was dope. For real. I haven't done a lot of podcasts. So
yeah,
it's dope being up.
I'm glad, bro, because I wasn't trying to like. I'm sure you probably get into interviews and whatnot. We don't. Again, I don't want to take up too much time. The way the pandemic helped you, this is how it started. The pandemic, because he wasn't coaching, I wasn't working at the time, and we just started it. And here we are. We have like at least 8 to 10 soccer guests that are pros that we never thought that was going to happen. You know what I mean? So again, the same typical mindset. Like we just got to keep going. And I tell them, we got to get this content. We got to get this content. And I try my best. Like I said, I hit you up as much as possible. I don't want to be like a pest, but I mean, I'm just going to go for it. So
yeah.
Good, you know what I mean? But I really I appreciate you enjoying it because I didn't want to say like, oh, here's the script of questions. No, like we're just going to have a conversation, and that's what it's about here, man. Like we just talk soccer, talk about your journey. But again, let's end it there, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to stay in touch. And again, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah. I like you guys' like whole setup too, like the jerseys.
Thanks. You're the only one to say that so far. I appreciate that because this was just thrown in together, bro. Like I'm still because like I'm at my house, so we're gonna try to like make it look better. But I appreciate that. Put some time into it.
Yeah, I can tell y'all put time into it, and then you got the shoes on the side. Like I like the shoes too.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot. The fact that you like jerseys. We got a guest that sent us a jersey. So if you got extra jerseys you can send to us, man, I want to put it back here for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If you got one, I'm going to send you the address. Like, again, there's no rush, no pressure. But if you get an extra jersey, you have it. Hey, I'm going to send it to the guys. I'm going to put it back here.
Yeah, for sure. Just remind me, and I got y'all.
Oh, there you go. Bet I'm on it.
There you go.
It's on there.
There you go.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We'll for sure come out anytime you're in town. When you play LFC, we're coming out.
I'm gonna text you, but yo, we gotta get LFC. I'm there.
We're coming out to come check you out.
Even Galaxy, because
either one. We'll definitely come out and watch you, man.
All right, man.
Again, best of luck, dude. We hope and wish the best for you, and we'll keep an eye out. And we just wish you the best, and hopefully everything continues on forward for you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
Take it easy.
All right.
And Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Later.
All right,
go, bud.